Yes, I think he's certainly got a chance in the field of this nature. He's got a good draw. He is Carbon Atom's brother, and Carbon Atom's by Fortwood, and he's a sprinter. Unfortunately, we're trying to get him to go the mile, but I don't know if he will. Hopefully, this guy by Silvano should get the distance. I mean, we're not certain of it, but yeah, I think everything is in place, and hopefully he can find the winner's box.
Then the very aptly named Invisible takes her place in the lineup in race number 2.
Yes, I'm hoping this run is not coming too soon. She was still green and needed that last run. I think she's still going to be a little bit inexperienced, but once again, good draw, lots in her favour, and I had to take the chance and run her. There are one or two in the race that obviously look competitive, but I think she's got a good chance.
Yeah, and she made a nice debut. She's by Duke of Marmalade, so the mile should not be an issue for her. I'm sure it's a competitive race, but she'll be right there.
Then you quadruple fisted in the fillies nursery with all of Emerald Tiara, CAVIVAR, Up Close and Personal, and Victoria PAIGE. And boy, oh boy, you couldn't have been more impressed with the way that Victoria PAIGE won, with winners behind her. And Up Close and Personal is the ride of Lyle. Does that give anything away, or is he just used to it?
No, it gives nothing away. At the end of the day, I've got to be honest. Basadi, Faith, and obviously Gin Fizz look like serious horses, the two of them. Obviously Rio's Winter also won a very good race. Just talking about my horses, CAVIVAR, we tried the tongue tie. Obviously we wanted to use the tongue tie for a good reason, and it backfired. So now we are going into the race without the tongue tie, but we are trying something else. Temperamental type of filly. She's got her issues, but she's got ability, and I'm hoping for a much better run than her last effort. I'm sure she was just unsettled because of the tongue tie. Emerald Tiara has had a few niggles going into this race. She's got the form to run a very, very good race, but things haven't gone as smoothly as I'd hoped. Yeah, Up Close and Personal was very green first time out, and I think she would have learnt a lot. I'm taking the chance running her as a maiden just based on the form of True to Life. She came out and won quite impressively in her next start. So, you know, being by Captain L, there's a good chance that she's going to raise her game. And Victoria PAIGE, even though she was very impressive last time, it was in the soft going and over 1400. Now we're coming back to 1200, 1160. It looks like we're going to have good to fast going on the day, and her pedigree suggests that she would run a bit further. But you know, we took a chance running her first run around the turn, and I think coming back down the straight will only help her confidence and teach her to race better. So there was a double reason to run her. We're taking an absolute chance here. If they go hard enough up front, she'll be running on strongly.
Gin Fizz, the very talented but somewhat unpredictable daughter of Soft Furling Rain. I believe Milan's going to be in evidence.
Yeah, he will, and she seems to be calming down at home, so hopefully that comes through at the races. She's been the bridesmaid a few times, and Basadi Faith looks to have her held. I'm sure, you know, she's going to give a good account of herself, and the more racing she does, the more she improves. So I wouldn't be surprised if she can just close the gap a little bit on Basadi Faith.
Lovely. Then you triple fisted in the Colts nursery with Put on the Red Light, Rock the Globe, and Succession.
Put on the Red Light is a horse that I'm very happy with, but he does look like he wants a bit further. Once again, hoping for a really strong pace, and hopefully he'll be finishing strongly. He has got the class to win a race like this, but I think it might be a bit sharp. Rock the Globe, we treated his last race as a gallop. He definitely needed it. He'll come on a lot with it. Once again, I think he wants a bit further than the 1200. And Succession, the same sort of story. Obviously, I think he's good enough to take a chance here, but he wasn't ready for his last run, and that was definitely used as a gallop, as a prep, just to help him along. Yeah, no real measure of confidence. As I said, if they go hard enough, hopefully one or two of mine will be finishing strongly.
There aren't too many better names than Battle of Trafalgar and Frosted Gold who line up in the nursery.
Yeah, Frosted Gold is exposed. He's a nice horse. I'm expecting a good run. He's in good form. Battle of Trafalgar's having his first run, but he's obviously been showing us some top work at home. And you know, a lot depends on how green he's going to be, but it doesn't seem like the green type. Yeah, so we're hopeful of a good run from him.
Last time we had a marathon session like this, at the end of the whole day, I said to you, pick one horse. You picked a horse called Return Flight. It's well documented that she may well have been a Triple Tiara winner, but she's won the Classics, she's won the Oaks, and she now takes on the older fillies over 2,000 metres in the Gerald Rosenberg.
I see it didn't help me tipping her last time because she drifted from 17 to 10 to 3 to 1. But anyway, she's had a good preparation. I think her target is obviously the Willevington in KZN. And having said this, she's had a very good preparation into this race. And even though I am using this as a stepping stone into the Group 1, I think she's got a chance of rounding off the treble.
The very expensive and certainly talented filly Gala gets a chance to prove her mettle over 2,000 metres in the Gerald Rosenberg Group 2.
Yeah, and this is her first time over 2,000 metres. She is bred to stay this type of distance. We feel like she's been crying for it. She's in good form, and I'm pretty confident she'll run a big race.
I think both our two fillies they're competitive there, Andy. You know, it's a strong race. You know, they've come off good runs. I mean, obviously Insignis out at the weights, this being weight for age, but I still think she'll go well. You know, she's improved a lot, I think, quite lately, and she, you know, the 2,000 should be right up her alley. Secret Potion, I think a little bit stiff in the Colorado King. She never got a run there. You know, she was balked several times, 3 times actually up the straight. Would have finished close, I think, you know, had she got through. And I think her quality speaks for itself. So, yeah, kind of hopeful for both of them to run big races.
On to the 6, where all of Desert Rhythm, Exquisite Touch and Green Plains now. Here I think you're strong.
Yes, I am, because, listen, there are horses in the race that I've got healthy respect for. It's a very competitive race, so I'm not overly confident, but I do think I've got a nice hand in that. Green Plains, it was her second run last time. She got into trouble. This is her peak run. There are lines of form to suggest with many of these runners that she could have the measure at the weights, but obviously we have to just take that last run with a bit of a pinch of salt. Exquisite Touch, once again, also flying in her last effort. I was caught between a rock and a hard place to go for the computer form sprint or this race, but she's worse off in the computer form with a lot of horses that were in front of her, so I've decided to go here. She's probably looking for the extra distance at this stage of her career. She's not out of it. And I must tell you, Desert Rhythm, although she's probably the worst weighted of the trio, she was very unlucky last time. And if you watch that replay, or if anyone takes the time and trouble to see the trouble she found, she would have had a chance of threatening those top 2 in the last start. So, yeah, nice coupling. And as I said, even though I'm not bullish, I think I'm happy with the hand I've got in this race.
You've been incredibly transparent with the preparation of skippers so far, saying that this was probably always her mission, and maybe even looking towards Scottsville at the end of May. But we're making the assumption, which is never a good idea, that she's going to be spot on for Saturday.
Yeah, well, I hope so. She's looking good. You know, her work's certainly up to standard. You know, she's never a demonstrative filly at home, but Gav rode her yesterday. He was more than happy. And, you know, she sort of checked out very well. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, she'll be spot on for the day. Difficult race, there always are these races. And she's drawn a little bit down the inside. I don't know if that's going to work against us or not, but we've got to leave that to Gav. I think she could have the beating of San Fermin at the weights. 3 kgs, I think, better off with her now for a long head. So I think that you know, she's going to be there. I'm sure of that. And Jeff's coming up, so I just hope it works out.
Yes, Andrew Sanferman is in a rich vein of form at the moment. She's coming off back-to-back wins. She won this Sycamore the last time out. She found a lot of trouble in the race and got through just before the shadows of the post, but won going away. She's held her form and maintaining her form back home. I think she must be a massive runner. We've prepped her for this race from a long way out. This has been her main mission for the year. So we're hoping that she produces a great run for the stable.
Just looking at the weights with San Fermin, it does look probable that skippers who she's beaten might have her measure, but I don't think the handicap has caught up with San Fermin.
You know, Andrew, probably when you look at it on paper, yes, but I think that she's a little bit better than that lot.
Frederico's Dream?
Frederica's Dream had been off for a long time, so she was well in need of the run last time. We've done extensive work with her, and she's looking very, very well. This last week, she's put up some nice performances back home at the track. She had a nice grass gallop last week, Sunday, and I was pretty impressed with her. We've opted to take the blinkers off her in the 1160 because I feel that she does too much early on and then doesn't go through with it in the end, and I'm hoping that this does the trick with her.
Forest Express, no question in my mind that this is hard-knocking, solid, staying pedigree, and proven it so far, has she. And then Liege steps up to the extended trip.
Yeah, well, Forest Express, first of all, I think she's going to appreciate this step up. She enjoys it. She stays all day. I haven't had a trouble-free prep with her. However, it's probably the first time that she's been able to put 3 runs together in a while. So, although I may have had an interrupted prep over the last week, she certainly has had those 2 runs over the longer trips to get her to peak fitness. So, yeah, I'm not overly confident again, but I do obviously give her a good chance. Liege is an enigma at this stage because he is flying at home. He's eating well, he's looking fantastic, his work is different class. For some reason, he's not bringing it to the races, and this is worth a try. I mean, we tried the 2-4, he got beat 3.5 lengths by a Noble Secret, only getting 1.5 kilos. I don't think there's a Noble Secret in this race, and although I'm not confident he'll stay, I'm taking a chance on his well-being, on his relationship with Danielson. Obviously, Danielson also gets him to relax, which is a bonus over this type of trip. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Very much like Insignis, Sunshine Silk is certainly on the upgrade, and there was a lot to like about the way she won her last start.
Yeah, she won the Caradoc Gold Cup last time, I thought, very well, but you know, she was very well weighted there, and I'm not sure, 57 in over 2 miles against the boys, it's not an easy task for her. Having said that, she won her last 2 starts very, very well, and always looking like she had a little bit in hand. But I'm going there with an open mind. It's not going to be easy, but she's very, very well drawn. Gav knows her well, so we're taking our chances. We have to.
You declared in Legal Eagle's last performance, when he ran in the Horse Chestnut, that he wasn't at peak fitness after his Cape campaign. There's every reason to believe that hopefully he will be at his peak performance, because he will need to be to beat both Tilbury Fort and Hawam. And then, of course, you've got ZILLZAAL as well.
Yes, listen, I think he acquitted himself reasonably well. He was beaten 3.5 lengths. He ran the last 424. But I think, the pace could have been a little hot in that race. He especially over the mile, he's definitely more vulnerable when they go slow. And even though he did just need it last time, I think he ran a little further back than he should have based on the pace. However, he's come on nicely with that run. And we haven't got the ideal draw, Andrew. And obviously we're up against a superstar, a WAM, which we have healthy respect for. But Legal's made good progress since that last run. And I'm expecting him to be competitive. Maybe this is, I'm taking a bit of a chance here, running for 4 million rand. However, I think this horse, he needs a pace. I'm not assured to get it here. I think his prep has been very, very good. I think that last run was a case of other horses quickening better than him. But in terms of his well-being, I couldn't hope for better. I do think he's a horse that can raise his game and definitely finish in the money. However, I have to be mindful of the fact that he's still a one-time winner.
An absolute revelation since his gelding. I must admit, I'm very, very surprised to see the odds that are on offer about Tilbury Fort.
Never mind about that. The fact is, I think he's had a really nice prep. I was a little concerned about him being at his peak in his last start. Once again, coming from the tail end, the pace certainly didn't suit. You know, a horse like this can quicken up really smartly. So if they go slowly, it's not the end of the world for him, because he does quicken up really nicely. Great to have Pia on top of him again. He has got to reacquaint himself with this horse. He did ride him early on in his career. He's come to gallop him. He's very happy with the horse. Yeah, he should be finishing strongly. I mean, hopefully he'll pick up a nice check.
Things haven't gone exactly perfect with him since I've been here, but I think I've got him in a very, very good space right now. So, yeah, he's going well at the moment.
You said it hasn't gone exactly straightforward, but his run over 1,400 metres behind Socrates was eye-popping.
Yeah, that race actually knocked him back quite a bit. I didn't have him fit enough to actually deal with that race. So he didn't take that run well at all. Hence, I ran him 2 weeks later. I needed to get a second run in, and then basically start all over again. But I'm very happy where he is right now.
Loyalty and contractual agreement come into play, where I'm sure Gavin Lorena wouldn't have it any other way other than to be loyal to Jessica, TURFFONTEIN and WOODRUFF, and he rides Cascapedia in the R4 million Premier's Champions Challenge.
Yeah, last time out we had a couple of excuses. She's had 2 runs in the soft and she's really hated it. So I would say you could put a line through her last run. You know, she might not have beaten horses like Susanna, but she was definitely further back than we thought she would be. She's come out of that run well. We've taken the blinkers off her as well for Saturday, put the tongue tie on. She's got a history of making respiratory noises. So we're trying a few things. Hopefully if they all come together, she can reproduce one of her best performances. If she does do that, then she must be a runner.
The case of Noble Secrets. He's a horse that you've expressed a measure of confidence over extended trips, but you can't put your nose up at the kind of prize money that's on offer over 2,000 here.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we were going to use a race in 2 weeks' time to prep him for some staying races coming up, and then you know, you look at a race like this and they're paying 40,000 rand down to 10th place, and he's in good form, and on his day he can beat, you know, the majority of this field. So we thought we would take our chances. You know, barring probably 3 or 4 horses, the rest of them, it's wide open for those minor places. Like I said, he's in good form, and you never know your luck in the big city.
And then, of course, Hawam, the Teletrack campaign has been aggressive. He deserves it. And obviously, the most important thing about the Derby is that nobody died. At the end of the day, he came out of it in good shape, and you had a projection going forward to this very important race.
Yeah, and he, between then and now, the prep's gone really well. He hardly had a scratch on him after the Derby, but you know, you can't run a concussion test on him like you can with a human straight away and see if they're okay. You know, we weren't sure to what degree it hurt his head when he fell over, so we couldn't take the chance. But like I said, he's really come out of it well. We've taken him to the course, galloped him again. He's in a good space. It's his first time against older horses, and from previous runs with Sukrat and Cirillo beating older horses, it looks like the 3-year-olds are level up, but he's still got to go out there and prove it. No complaints, he got a good draw, and everything's gone smoothly.
And then moving on to the computer form sprint, it's a race where you feature prominently in the betting, rightfully so. Your horses have had fantastic preps, not least of all Trip to Heaven, and Chimichurri Run's prep's been phenomenal. Let's start with Bull Valley though.
Yeah, Bull Valley, it's well documented that he's got issues, and we decided after last season's disappointment to give him a really long break. He is a horse with issues. We are trying the blinkers. I feel the 1,000 is a bit sharp, but if they go hard, we've seen him finishing strongly. We know he's got the class. Is he ready? I'm not quite sure he is, but 1,000 meters, I can't say he's got no chance.
The other two, I'll stick my neck out and say they're as ready as they could ever be.
Yes, I think you're right. Trip to Heaven, unfortunately, his Cape season was very disappointing for me. Not because of his form, but because of his well-being. You know, his work was superb. He looked fantastic. He was as sound as ever, and you know, he just didn't translate it to his races. However, he hasn't been as reliable as we've known him in the past. So that is something to consider. But I can't fault him at this stage.
In Chimichurri, you declared weeks back, this is all geared towards one race.
We have obviously targeted this race from when he got back from the Cape. He definitely needed his last run. he acquitted himself well, giving weight away all round. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see him fight it out.
You've got three exceptionally talented sprinters in the computer form sprint with all of Down to Zero, Riverine, and the improving Russian Prince.
Yes, Andrew, I feel that we have a decent hand in this race. Obviously, Riverine needs to come back to form because he has the ability to win a race like this. He's one of those horses that gets you pulling your hair out of your head. I feel he's as...
What hair?
Yeah, the little bit that I have left. I feel he's as good over the 1200 as he is over the 1000, but probably better over the 1000. And Riverine is in a rich vein of form at the moment. Down to Zero, he won a feature just a little while back. He's run well for Marco, but Marco's opted to stick with the other one. So we've got a capable replacement in Bernard Vaderb. He's won all over the world. He's an international jockey, a jockey with a huge amount of experience. So I can't ask for more. And then obviously Marco's stuck with a younger horse who he feels he's got a good relationship with, and he feels he's going to want to stick with him because he feels he's got a bright future. We were in two minds whether to run him in this race or not. But he's doing so well back home, and we thought, why not? Let's take our chances and go for this race with him.
I know that you'd take any one of the three winning, but it would be particularly special if the Patala Palace were to win.
I'd be over the moon. I'd love to be the first trainer to win a Grade 1 race with a Patala Palace, and please God, this could be the one.
The 10th race sees you triple-fisted yet again with the son of Pomodoro, Royal Italian, Silver God, who you've always had a high opinion of, and Warrior's Rest, who's just a smashing-looking horse.
Yeah, interesting race, Andrew. I think obviously Warrior's Rest should be the stable elect. I think the course and distance will suit him. He's on a hat trick, and you know, he's certainly shown well being at home to have a realistic chance of pulling it off. It's a competitive field, however. The stable companions, Silver God, I've always thought highly of. His last run was disappointing, but I did want to give him a second run down the straight, which may have been foolhardy, but in terms of the way his form reads, but certainly has helped his condition. Yeah, I'm expecting a massive improvement. And Royal Italian, you know, striker rode him very well when he won that first race of that treble that he rounded off, and I think it's nice to have him back on. I'm not quite sure where I'm going distance-wise. You know, I think he can stay, this horse, and I just like Pierre to confirm that in the mile, and we may just look for a race over a little further, a little feature to have a dip at maybe in Durban.
Yeah, and he's exceptionally well. It's tough with these older horses in the handicap division, but I think he's progressing really nicely and making one of our better runners on the day.
Okay, and then you've got a quartet of runners in the 11th of the afternoon, stretching the team to the limit. Aurora Australis, Bienvenue, who's always been so talented, got it all right last time out, Mighty Valdi, and Throng, all decent hard knockers.
Yes, Andrew, my intention was never to run four. Obviously, this is a hands and heels race. Why it was cutting up so badly, this race, I'm not too sure. I think it's important that we show the public and the world that we are all in favour of animal welfare. We are all mindful that the stick needs to be used as an aid in races, and we only want the best for these great thoroughbreds that are in our care. I think I've got a fair chance here, but it is an open race. Bienvenue, I think, will actually enjoy the hands and heels ride. I think we're coming back in distance with Throng, putting the blinkers on. Mighty Valdi gets the blinkers on, and Aurora Australis actually enjoys that type of ride too. I'm hopeful here. I would lean slightly towards Bienvenue, but it is an open race.
And then you're going to give the 12th a miss, fortunately, so you can start the party if it's necessary. And Arlington's Revenge, Condor Gulch, who's been away, and Hakeem all represent you in the 11th.
Yeah, Arlington's Revenge is not at peak fitness. We've just freshened him up after the derby, so he's probably about 80% ready. Condor Gulch has been gelded, so also not at peak fitness, will need the run. And Hakeem, I think he's obviously he's a very fit horse, running pretty consistently. I think he might enjoy actually not having the stick. His work's been good, and I expect a good run.
I suppose it's quite opposite to what a Toastmaster normally does, but he's running in the last race.
Yes, Andrew, I thought that he showed a gutsy win when he did break his maiden. It was a fair post-maiden run. He shows me that he probably does want this type of trip, even though he's out of a Mutterfall mare, which, once again, you don't get that much confidence. I am going to probably add the blinkers on over 2,000 meters first time. Is that the right play? I think he does concentrate a little better with him. Yeah, so I would definitely give him a chance.